All right, you put the key in it and nothing happened, and it's kind of want to start, and then it clicks again, but it's nothing. Nothing happened, right? The engine almost, it tried to go, but then stopped. So let's take a look to see what we got. Sometimes it could be more than two things, or more than three, four, five. It depends how complicated your car is. But on this thing, we're gonna go for the two things right now. We're gonna go for the battery. We're gonna test the battery, see how much power we got, see how many voltage or something like that. Let's see if this thing is just the battery is bad or just a starter. Because when the battery goes bad, it will do the same thing. It will click or not even click, and the starter is going bad. So let's just take a look to the starter. We can test the system with this fancy stuff. This one has a built-in DVOM, but a lot of people do not have that equipment, so let's test it with the normal one, with this little one, this little tool. This is good enough. So we just touch the negative, and we had 12.05. That is enough to crank the engine and start the car. This battery is losing power, or it's going dead, or it's not good anymore. It's still good, but it's not it's not capable to do what it's supposed to do. And the long time it's going to be, maybe in a couple of months it's going to die. And now it's going to get cold down here, and in the cold weather it will lose a lot of more power than now than the summer. So first thing we're going to do is disconnect the battery. Let's just remove the battery terminal. We'll remove that one to the side. Now we go to the starter. As you can see, this is a 2004 Toyota Corolla. I removed the fan so you can see better, but remove this fan is so easy. You only have this plug, 10 mils. There's one little bolt that goes here and one that goes on this side, so you don't need to watch that. That's simple to do. Now we go down here. You can see that that's your starter. So here, this one here, that's why we had to disconnect the battery, because we do not want to short anything else, like anything. We don't want to make any contact with this wire, anything, nothing. We just want to keep everything safe. And here is the one bolt right here, and the other one is hiding right here, right in there. There it is. You take one from this side and the other one from this side. So that's going to be an easy job. But remember, disconnect the battery. Now, if you're doing this on, it will be a Honda or Nissan, then you got to be careful with it. If it's a Honda, you want to get either the codes for the radio or navigation system if you have it, or just get a memory saver, plug it in a 12-volt battery, and away you go. Now, some fancy cars like Mercedes, BMWs, and other fancy cars, yeah, sometimes the memory saver is not a good idea, because that car needs a lot of more power to run. You can not be able to run it only by the OBD2 port. But that'll be a different ball game. But just if you could work on one of your friend car or neighbor car that has one of those fancy cars like that, you want to be careful with that too, because you're gonna lose everything, and then you're gonna need one of these fancy things, one of fancy $5,000 fancy computer to reset everything. So you can do it too. That's not a big of a deal, but keep that in mind. If it'll be an Nissan, I would definitely use one of those memory saver, because then the check engine light might come on, or the service engine soon. Nothing wrong with the engine. That means you disconnect the battery, the PCM, the ECM lose the memory, now doesn't even know what the throttle is and all that kind of stuff, which is, it shouldn't be like that. But on these Toyotas, you don't have to do that. Toyotas and Lexuses, you don't really need to do that unless it's the 2022. Then you might do it. I don't know. I haven't worked on one yet, so I can't tell. But on the one that I've been working on, there you don't have to do that. The computer will reset itself, and you have no problem. So just disconnect the battery and let's go to the starter. Let's move on. So now we have here the 12 mils. It's one of these gear wrenches, which is really nice to work on these things. Let's take that wire off. Unplug the connector. Here it comes. Now let's move to the 2 bolts and let's take the starter out. Now you got your 14 in there. This is 14 mils right there. Just put it in it and loosen them up. That's loose. Let's try to loosen the other one. It's gonna be hard to see inside there how the ratchet is in there on the bolt, but because you had that wire, it's going, the black wire is going in between. But you do not have to take any of this stuff off unless you want to do it. Then go ahead and do it and clean the throttle body if you take all that off. If you don't, then just leave it and let's see what we got. And as you can see here, this thing is loose now. Okay. Okay. Well, else I can move it. I can take it out by hand. Let me take it out by hand. And I say clean the throttle body because it might be dirty or something like that. If you're gonna go to all that work taking these out because the tools you got won't fit in there or whatever. For any reason you want to take it out, you don't have to again. But if you do, clean this one on. That makes maybe the car runs a little bit better. So let's get to the starter. Here is the felt bolt coming out. This is one. Let's go for the top one. As you can see here, these are the 2 bolts that are holding in. They are the same size, so there is no problem if you mix them. Some cars are different size. The top is different, and the other one is a little shorter and longer. So, but this one you have no problem with it. Let's just take the starter out. Here it comes. Here is the old one. Let me just move it out here. Here it is. It's the old one. Let's get the new Toyota one. Okay, here is the new one. I bought this one at Toyota dealer. As you can see, we just put it side by side, make sure it's the same. The connector, same thing. So now we know it's the same. I'll just put it back in. So we're gonna grab it like this. And let's fit it right in there. Let's move the wires out of the way. There we go. It's right in it. Okay, it's right in there. See how easy that is? Okay, so now the starter is in. Everything is back on. The power, the plug on the bottom. I didn't show you how to do it, tighten it up, because if you took it off, you already know which way the wrench is going to go to put it back on. So let's get to the, see if it starts now. Let's reconnect the battery. And before we go inside the engine, the car, let's just start the engine. That's what I'm trying to say. 12 volt 0.06. Okay, let's see if it starts. Now, the key is in. Let's see if it starts. Here we go. Start right up. So there you go. Simple to do it. I didn't put the fan yet, but I'm just gonna put it right on. See, the engine is running. See, the system is charging. 14 volts. That's pretty good. Oh, this terminal. Okay, 14 volt. Oh, that thing keeps popping loose. Okay, now it's not gonna come off. So 14, charging, pretty good. Do it yourself. It's really easy. Thanks for watching.